My name is Salim Vuria, the Cabinet Secretary, Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports, Republic of Kenya. Dear Kenyans, we are ready to host CHAN 2024 tournament. Let us show the world our patriotism, our passion for football, and our warm hospitality. This is not just a tournament, it is a celebration of our nation's pride. Join us in Nairobi as we welcome the continent and the world to experience the thrill of CHAN 2024. It is our time to shine. Let us make CHAN 2024 a great success and rally behind our team, Harambee Stars. Hashtag Jaza Study.
Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
Wakenya wenzangu, this August, something big is happening. CHAN 2024 is here and Harambee Stars are ready to shine. Let us come together and support our boys as they fight for glory. From the first whistle to the last goal, let us cheer loud and proud. Tune in to KBC Channel 1 and let's cheer our boys. Because when Harambee Stars win, Kenya wins. Twende kazi, Team Kenya all the way.
A warm welcome to the Lunchtime News. My name is Marie Yambo. Helping me on the sign language is Lucy Maura. We begin with our first story where President William Ruto has lashed out at his opponents, accusing them of being a representation of the status quo. The head of state says the opposition is yet to offer an alternative agenda to that of the Kenya Kwanza administration, accusing them of allegedly balkanizing the country. Ruto, who spoke at the Talanta bell ringing in Nairobi celebrating the listing of Lindsay asset-backed security, however, says he remains undeterred and focused on delivering his pre-election pledge to the electorate. He called on Kenyans to judge him fairly and based on his performance record.
Just like those who were there before me, my time will come and I will go. Just like those who were there before me did. But respectfully, sirs, madams, let me ask you. So, what are your reasons for this Ruto must go? I'm sure it's not because of the spelling of his name. Maybe because you don't agree with the ideas, the policies, and the plan he has for our nation, which is okay. But please, would you kindly favor us with your counter plan, with your alternative plan? Because the more I listen, the more it is sloganeering. It's not about a plan, not about an alternative plan. And, hey, we cannot replace a plan you don't like. We are an ambitious nation and an ambitious people. That is who we are. And leadership must rise up to meet that ambition. That is why I made a solemn and unwavering commitment to lead from the front. The truth is, I had no choice. We could not stand by and watch the country drift. We do not and never have aspired to be average.
Police are investigating an incident in which 10 people were seriously injured after suspected goons attacked workers at a private business premise in Mukuru, Kwaruben slums. Over 46 workers were also rendered jobless, while the private investor lost stock worth 4.8 million shillings, including electronics, liquor, during the Sunday morning attack. According to Jen Nakesa, the owner of the business, the attack occurred in full view of security officers. The matter was reported to Mukuru Kwaruben police station. The injured are nursing injuries at Mbagathi and Mama Lucy hospitals.
Tuliamkia asubuhi 5 kazi. Tukaanza kazi vizuri. Mwenye alifika saa 2, watu wakuja wakaanza kutushia mawe. Hatukuwa tunajua nini na hapa, hatukuwa tunajua nini tumefanya. Kaanza kutushia mawe. Katuharibia kazi, siku ikaenda hivyo. Sisi tumekaa hivi siku 2 hatujakula, hatujui tafanya nini. Tuko na watoto huku, nyumbani wazee wanatutegemea. Tuliweza kuvamiwa na watu ambao wanaaminika kuwa maguns. Walivamia hapa hivi, wakapora kila kitu. Tulijaribu kuitisha hadi usaidizi wa polisi, wakafika hapa lakini hakuna vile walitusaidia. Sasa hizi vile tuko hapa hivi sisi na mimi na wenzangu wote sasa hizi hapa ndio penye wote tunapata unga, lakini ukiangalia kila kitu kimeibiwa. Hatuna hata pa kuanzia.
Naomba serikali Mukuru Kwaruben hatuna security. Security yetu iko chini sababu mali yangu iliporwa, mapolisi wakiwa wanaangalia. Mali yangu imeporwa, kila askari alikuwa hapa akiangalia. Kwa roho yangu ninaumwa sana sababu hata venye nimesimama hivi niko na uoga juu wanasema wanataka maisha yangu.
Chifu wetu wa Ruben, OCPD wa Ruben, tafadhali wasikilie Ruben, wapige patroli. Vichana viko hapa vinanyang'anya watu wasi.
Naomba anayesimamia police officers aangalie changes za station ya Ruben. Combination plus Njenga station, yafaa zote 2 station waangalie. Imebidi sasa mahali pe tumefika, raia wenyewe sasa itabidi sisi wenyewe tujilinde ndani ya manyumba yetu.
And Kenya and Tanzania have partnered to reclaim water catchment areas. That is in Rongai, but that is in Tanzania. My colleague Timothy Kipnusu is there, and we should be able to link up with him to give us more details of what is happening there as far as the reclamation of the ecosystem. Timothy, if you can hear me, bring us up to speed with what is happening in as far as that is concerned.
A very good afternoon to you, my colleague Yambo there at the Broadcasting House in Nairobi. Yes, indeed, as you've mentioned, I'm coming to you live from Rongai in Tanzania, approximately 7 kilometers from the Kenya-Tanzanian border, and here covering a very important event, a Journey of Water campaign, which is aimed at reclaiming 2 major rivers serving 2 countries, Kenya and Tanzania. Of course, I'm talking about Nolturesh River in Kenya, particularly in Oloitoktok, that serves Sultan Hamoud and of course Kimingelia River in Tanzania. Also that the two rivers are facing a threat from a number of activities, of course human activities, unregulated irrigation. Of course we also have sand harvesting. And just to put this particular issue into perspective, I'm joined by Dr. Martin Mulama, who is the manager of Southern Kenya, Northern Tanzania landscape, just to give us some insight about this particular event. Thanks so much for joining us. Just come closer here. What do you want to achieve in this particular event? I understand that it is a 3-day event.
Thank you. My name is Martin Mulama. And at the end of these 3 days, we want to do two things. We want to achieve an increased understanding of the what we can call demystify the fact that people think water do come from taps, but actually water comes from healthy and functional ecosystems. And this means that we need to address a number of things. We need to ensure that we deal with the unregulated irrigation. We need to ensure that we can meter the water that is, being over-abstracted, because at the moment there are no meters. And we also need to ensure that we can completely remove the sand mining from the riverbanks, because this is what actually ends up causing a lot of degradation on the rivers. We also want to ensure that if agriculture is going to be done, then the agriculture is at least done in a sustainable way, that it allows and minimizes completely the use of chemicals. This is what we want to do in the next 2 days, because when we finish up the 3rd day, we'll be having a town hall dialogue where we will sit and discuss as we walk. We'll be picking up the challenges, but when we sit on the 3rd day, we'll be now coming up with tangible actions to address all these challenges.
For the last 4 years when this event started, perhaps what are some of the achievements in this particular campaign for the event?
There has been increased awareness in terms of usage of whether it is solid or plastic, solid or liquid. This we saw in the urban setup in Kibos River last year. We also did see a similar one in the Ewasonyiro when northern Kenya, and so we have to maintain the same and hope that this will also result into this very positive results. And of course, it helps a lot in terms of getting policies and government having to make decisions based on evidence that we'll have collected.
Thank you so much. I'm also joined by a person of water resource users. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us about the community level. What are some of the issues that you are undertaking that will really...
Thank you, Timothy Kipnusu, for that update. Timothy Kipnusu coming to us from Rongai, Tanzania, just talking about the reclamation of water catchment areas in that area, just bringing us up to speed in as far as that campaign is concerned. Also talking to the officials there who have enumerated some of the achievements that they've actually, achieved, including, creating awareness on plastic pollution and all that. But Kipnusu will be bringing us a comprehensive story later on in our subsequent bulletins. We'll be joining him there. But right about now, let's continue with the news, where the Ministry of Information, Communication and the Digital Economy has set ambitious performance targets for the 2025-26 financial year. The Principal Secretary, ICT and Digital Economy, Engineer John Tanui, speaking during the Ministry Performance Contracting Vetting exercise by department heads, says the targets are in line with the government's plan to promote the digital economy.
Wednesday morning at the Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy. The ministry's department heads, led by the Principal Secretary, gathered here to review the performance contract. This exercise was aimed at developing targets for the financial year of 2025-2026. The Principal Secretary said the exercise is crucial for budgeting and guiding the ministry's work.
We are setting the targets so that we have clarity on how to utilize the available funding and align with the plans of achievement of the fifth pillar of the digital superhighway and the creative economy.
This even as he highlighted the importance of ensuring the set goals are not mere paperwork.
We want to make sure also when the time comes to come and evaluate our performance, we want to make sure that the results will be good because we set the targets which is also aligned to the commitments that we made to the public.
Among the 9 strategic objectives for the ministry in the financial year include to strengthen policy, legal, regulatory and institutional frameworks for effective service delivery and conducive business environment, improve universal access to digital products and services for efficient service delivery, expand the digital superhighway and telecommunication infrastructure and services, to enhance our digital and mass media skills, to improve sustainable growth of software industry and development of local content, to increase public access to information, to strengthen postal and courier services, to facilitate the development of information and technology-enabled services, and to enhance digital and mass media technical skills.
Through the infrastructure that we have, the institutions that we have also, we will be oversighting to ensure that we accelerate and improve on communication of government deliveries.
Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
Thank you, Yusufara, for that report. Honorable T.J. Kajwang has dismissed Senator Sifuna's statement he made yesterday night at one of the media houses on ODM's stand on broad-based government. Kajwang said Sifuna made his own statements and not that of the ODM party. He was at Waraka constituency when issuing bursaries at the drive-in primary school, where he actually gave out 34 million shillings.
And as a past are you referring to, because I also saw Sifuna and I also Raila. Well, it is interesting. My senator of Nairobi, happens to be the Secretary General of my party. In most cases, he is the spokesperson in a general context of the party. But unless he's reading a statement which has been authenticated by the party, then that is the position of the party. Otherwise, when he addresses the press, he could be addressing it as Senator of Nairobi or in his personal capacity. I am sure he was not addressing it as ODM because we did not send him. I am sure that he was addressing as Senator of Nairobi, which involves everybody, including people in Kenya Kwanza or these other people. But I think he needs to be understood within the context that I've said.
Okay, you are also having a plan to have a conference in Mombasa on discussing 50-50 on broad base.
Yeah.
What's your take?
Well, we need to speak to each other. We cannot afford it. This country is too precious that we need to talk to each other. Young people are begging an opportunity to talk with the leaders, all right? And you as a parent, you know that you need to talk to your own child in the house, right? And so we are proposing that we should have a forum in which people discuss things honestly, genuinely on the table. Both sides. Young people should not come with the destructive mentality of destroying things. Old people should not come with an old school. Everybody must come down and let us talk together. That is our proposal. If the country is able to, the nation is able to take it, it will be very good. Remember, it is those discussions that led to the constitution that now we have.
To matters health now, where 3 residents of Kakamega County have tested positive for Mpox, a viral disease previously known as monkeypox. Kakamega Governor Fernandes Barasi said the county government has confirmed the trio were from Chekalini ward, that is in Lugari sub-county. Governor Barasi said the 3 and their families have been placed in home-based isolation for 21 days to control the spread of the disease. Public health professions have deployed health education and risk communication campaigns, which have been launched in Lugari and other sub-counties. Residents have been urged to observe hygiene and report symptoms such as fever, sore throat, and skin rashes.
2 days ago, we had some 3 cases that we are confirmed to be positive for Mpox, sometimes also known as monkeypox. Treatment and supportive care to the families and of course the victims that is ongoing at Lumakanda Sub-County Hospital. We have also deployed rapid response teams for further active case finding and contact tracing. We also want to caution, of course, the general public to stay calm and also to avoid getting in contact with the affected persons because, as I said earlier, this is a contagious disease.
A section of residents from Osasimwa area, that is in Narok North Sub-County, has called on the county government to prioritize the construction of Osasimwa Olopolil Road to ease transportation of farm produce to the market. Led by Jackson Leperes, the residents say they have been forced to get into their pockets to raise funds for the construction of the road, which is the main route for ferrying farm produce to the market. The residents say despite producing farm products in plenty, they are still languishing in abject poverty as they are unable to transport their produce for sale.
Ngano na viazi, carrots, lakini tunateseka sana. Chakula yetu inaharibikia kwa mashamba. Viongozi hawajibiki kukuja kututengenezea barabara.
Kwa ukweli hii barabara hata mgonjwa tunabeba na magunia. Hakuna mahali mgonjwa anapitishwa, wamama wanajifungulia kwa njia. Barabara ni mbovu kabisa.
Sisi tukiwa hapa, jambo la kwanza tunataka kuomba gavana wetu aweze kutusikiza, ndio aweze kuangalia maslahi yetu sababu tumeumia sana. Na eneo hii ni eneo ambaye chakula inatoka kwa wingi sana. Kabisa.
To matters education, where the government has been urged to address the underfunding of schools and probe allegations of ghost institutions receiving public funds. This comes as concerns grow over the implementation of the competency-based education system and the rising cases of teenage pregnancies in pastoralist regions. Speaking during a Thanksgiving event at Mtelo Girls Secondary School in Pokot Central, West Pokot Governor Simon Kachapin emphasized the need for proper investment in learning infrastructure and skills development to support CBE pathways. The call comes amid renewed efforts to reform the education system and enhance access to quality learning across the regions of the country.
Mzuri pia kuegeza katika mambo ya infrastructure katika zile pathways, kwa sababu mambo ya talanta, kuegeza kwa mambo ya sayansi na pia kwa mambo ya skills. Na najua serikali imeweka maanani kwa mambo ya TVET.
Pregnancy level imepungua wakati tuliamua kufunga wanafunzi wasiweze kurejista wenye wako na mimba. So tunataka tushukuru wazazi kwa sababu wameweza kukubaliana na sisi kama shule na shule yetu inaendelea mbele.
The residents of Kajiado town and its environs are grappling with water shortage caused by vandalism of water infrastructure in the town. It is alleged that a criminal gang has managed to vandalize 19 private and communal boreholes in the last 3 months, leaving the locals without water supply. Now, the suspects are said to be targeting metal pipes and other materials sold in the local market as scrap metal. Residents say that most homes do not have adequate water supply, forcing them to depend on expensive water tankers. They're calling on the security agencies to curb the vice.
Wamevandalize kwanza ile waya ambayo inaenda kutoka meter box mpaka kwa borehole, ambaye hiyo ndio ina cost a lot of money.
bomoa nyumba, wanabomoa boreholes, wanatoa hizi kopa ndani ya cables kama hizi kwa biashara hii ya scrap. Sasa tumepata hasara kubwa sana kwa boreholes kama 19 hivi.
Inabidi tunaitisha hizi tanka za kununua maji kutoka town, of which inakuwa expensive. Ukulima haiwezi endelea tena, hatuwezi pata maji ya kutosha kwa mifugo, hatuwezi pata maji ya kutosha kutumia manyumbani, maana hawa watu wamekuwa ni watu wa shida sana. Kwa hivyo hii mambo ya scrap metal tunaomba serikali ituondolee.
Jomvu Member of Parliament Badi Twalib has urged the National Assembly's Budget and Appropriations Committee to increase the judiciary's budget beyond the current 27.8 billion shillings allocated for the 2025-26 financial year to boost efficiency. The lawmaker warned judiciary underfunding risks crippling delivery of justice and can foster corruption in courts. Twalib further lauded the judiciary leadership under the leadership of Chief Justice Martha Koome for initiating transformative programs and projects in the judiciary amid reduced budgetary allocation.
Backload ya kazi ziko nyingi sana hapa Mombasa, Nairobi, Nakuru, Kisumu na sehemu nyingine nyingi sana. Inaonekana kwa si jambo la kuzungumziwa kwa watu wengi kwa vile huwa hawafikii kwenye mahakama kuja kuangalia hali ilivyo.
Now, climate change scientists have been urged to focus on challenges posed by sea rise, flooding and heat waves that increasingly threaten lives, livelihoods and heritage, particularly in the coast region. Speaking during the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, in Mombasa County, the Environment and Climate Change Principal Secretary, that is Dr. Festus Ngeno, emphasized the urgency of critical infrastructure like the Port of Mombasa and the heritage sites. Kenya's representatives and Vice Chair of IPCC Working Group 2, Dr. Cromwell, that is Locorito, raised the red flag over the alarming sea level rise, particularly in the North Coast, where it has swallowed that is large swaths of land. I believe that story will be coming up after this break, so stay tuned. We still have more coming up, including business.
Looking to advertise on KBC? KBC announcement services are now available on eCitizen. Visit kbc.ecitizen.go.ke and fill out the online application form. It's simple. 1. Complete the form. 2. Upload required documents. 3. Receive a quotation based on word count. And 4. Get notified via SMS when your announcement is ready. Please note, clearly indicate the type of announcement, service station, and all relevant details. 2. All applications must be made online only. Manual submissions will not be accepted. And 3. Announcements will air after news bulletins. For assistance, reach us on email ecitizen@kbc.co.ke or use our social media handles, Facebook, your Facebook account, and X at your X account. Or you can call us on 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124. KBC announcements. Simple, fast, and digital.
Mimi ni Salim Mvurya, waziri wa masuala ya vijana, uchumi bunifu na michezo. CHAN imewasili Kenya. Na waomba Wakenya wote tuweze kujitokeza kwa wingi, tuweze kushabikia timu yetu ya Harambee Stars. Tiketi tunaweza kulipa shilingi 200, 500 na 1000. Na CHAN iko KBC Channel 1 na KBC Radio Taifa. Tukutane Kasarani. Kenya ni nchi yetu, Harambee Stars ni timu yetu, na sisi ni wazalendo wa Kenya.
Thank you for staying with us. We want to now take you to a security tour by the CS of Interior, that is Kipchumba Murkomen. He was in the North Rift area just taking stock of what's happening there in as far as security is concerned. Let's listen in to what he had to say.
On citizens of this county and the region. First of all, you know, Eldoret is a catchment area of what was in the old days called White Islands. This is a very rich area, because there is a lot of farming, there is a lot of rain, so there is a lot of economic activity here and a lot of money exchange hands around here. So where you have resources and you have wealth, there also are, it attracts also these criminals, conmen, and people are taking advantage of families that do very hard work in their farming and their savings, and they want to take their children to school. That's why you have these fraudulent activities on abroad, work abroad. You have all these fraudulent activities that are related to. You didn't even mention that there is also other activities here that involve a very old trade around harvesting time. That some characters will come to this town when there is a lot of harvesting that's happening here and defraud men in this city. So it is it's given with the the environment that we are dealing with here is because people are targeting the wealth of the people in this place. What is important is for us to deal with it decisively, and we have discussed some strategies with the team on how to go forward. But even when we go back, the Inspector General of Police and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations might have to send a special investigation team to once and for all crack this issue. As to whether few people are being taken to court or not, I have no information that. You see, even one person can defraud so many people. One agency can defraud so many people. So it doesn't have to be many agencies for it to become fraudulent or for many people to suffer. So, but again, ladies and gentlemen, and residents of this region, let us also not fall prey. There are some things that we can check. You can check with your chief, you can check with your friend. Everybody trying to hide that they have got You see this thing, somebody saying, I have a good deal here, like the story of Mercury. Saying, nimepata mtu wa kuuza Mercury, and it's in every town. And one person thinks that he's the only one who has the Mercury. Kumbe, there is another one who has the Mercury here. And they are meeting in one building here. Maybe KVDA building, they are trying to sell Mercury, non-existent Mercury. So there is a lot of fraud that happens around here. I want to ask residents to be careful. Last question, or second last?
That is the Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen speaking in North Rift region, just taking stock of what's happening there in as far as security is concerned. Now, Charlene Ruto has taken a frontline role in the fight against drug abuse among the youth, leading a community outreach event in Malindi aimed at addressing the growing crisis. Speaking at a forum that brought together youth from Kilifi County, Charlene echoed the urgency of the cause, encouraging young people to take charge of their future by engaging in meaningful activities. The forum marked a significant moment in local efforts to address drug abuse while empowering young people to become agents of change in their communities.
One of the things the young people asked us is to do sports, art, and talent promotion. And I'm so proud of the young people of Kilifi. Your dances here today, your poems, many of you are proceeding to nationals, and we are going to support you so that you can make it on the national stage.
Kilifi ina namba kubwa ya vijana ambao wameathirika na janga la mihadarati. Tukifuata takwimu za NACADA ambalo ni taasisi inayotoa stakabadhi inayoonyesha athiriko hili la mihadarati ni kwamba vijana wamejihusisha sana.
So tuliketi chini kama muungano wa wanafunzi hapa Pwani, muungano wa wanafunzi nchini mzima, na tukaona ni vizuri tulichukulia hili jambo la kuhamasisha vijana dhidi ya mihadarati, madhara ya mihadarati na mbinu za kujikinga na mihadarati.
A look at business, where the government has declared fish from Lake Naivasha fit for human consumption despite health concerns raised by locals. The Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute says fish from Lake Naivasha are fit for human consumption despite a rising concern over pollution, mainly from flower farms, human settlement and poor farming practices upstream.
Lake Naivasha has been a lifeline for thousands, a source of livelihood and a critical part of Kenya's freshwater ecosystem. However, today that lifeline faces a quiet but growing threat of pollution flowing from the rivers that feed it.
There's a lot of activities, human activities that are taking place up in the upper catchment. We have poor agriculture practices, whereby we have realized that people have done agriculture even just near to the rivers, and they don't have those they don't use those contours.
Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute scientist Edna Waithaka says although the lake's fish remain safe, water quality in the rivers is steadily deteriorating, largely due to encroachment and unregulated farming.
We have obstructions, a lot of illegal obstructions, which of course is affecting the quantity or the flow into the lake, because we know River Gilgil contributes about 5%, including other ephemeral streams. Malewa contributes 95% of what goes into the lake.
Officials say that River Gilgil, once perennial, now flows seasonally as a result of rising human activity and environmental neglect. Resultantly, locals are calling upon the relevant authorities to expedite prosecution on those found illegally obstructing water so as to save the river.
The turbidity level at the upper catchment, the water was basically, even if you were looking at it, even using your eyes, you could see that the water was clean and clear. But down here, the water is somehow colored, simply because of the swells and the erosion that have been taking place from our farms to the coming down to the river.
The family of the late Herman Odhiambo Omamba, former member of parliament for Uriri, is demanding a comprehensive investigation into the brutal murder of their son, Mike Omamba. His lifeless body was found this morning in a pool of blood just a short distance from his home. Sources indicate that he was returning home from a local establishment in Migori town when he was attacked and killed. Speaking on behalf of the family, Gerald Omamba and Kennedy Odhiambo revealed that Mike was stabbed in the chest by his assailants. The family has asked the police to fully investigate the crime and ensure that those culpable are brought to justice. The body has been transferred to the Migori County Referral Hospital mortuary to await autopsy.
And overcome this type of sudden grief that has befallen the family.
We want to request the authorities to look into this issue properly, do investigation properly, and at least what we want as a family is justice, so that we know why is Mike killed.
A family in Thika is crying for justice after their kin, who was allegedly detained at Thika Level 5 Hospital due to an unpaid medical bill, sustained serious burns in unclear circumstances. The 35-year-old man who had recently been admitted there is said to be in stable condition. Let's get the details of that story.
Na nilienda mpaka Thika level 5 na nikakuta hiyo mtoto ameshomwa baya sana, na ile odi alikuwa amesalaso odi 1B alikuwa ameondolewa huko. Ameshomwa sana amesomewa hapa kutoka hapa Johero kupanda hivi, ameshomwa mpaka hapa, lakini uso tu ndio hajasomwa.
Sasa tunaweza taka sheria ichukuliwe juu mtu kuchomewa kwa hospitali na kuwa amekuja na hiyo ugonjwa ya kuchomwa. Alikuwa amekuja na ugonjwa ingine, lakini saizi yako na ugonjwa mara mbili.
Uchunguzi imeanza mara moja, kuna ofisa wamekimbia hapo na uchunguzi unaanza, na tutakapopata taarifa kamili tutaweza kuipeana.
A section of parents in Gatundu North, Yambo County, have urged the government to go slow on the youth seeking justice, accountability and governance through protests, and instead use legal means to punish those who contravene the law. Speaking at Mushakai village during the burial of Bernard Mburu, a 29-year-old youth who was shot dead during the Saba protest in Kangemi town, the parents urged the government to protect young lives. Additionally, they have urged the youth to refrain from further engaging in demonstrations to avoid more loss of lives, of innocent lives that is, and injuries.
Naomba serikali yetu sasa iache kuua watu wengine, washike hawa vijana na youth iwapeleke kotini. Iache kuua. I think now is enough. Iache kuua because we have the courts. Tuko na koti. Wachika wa hawa watoto wapeleke kotini, wahukumiwe kulingana na sheria.
Watoto tunaangalia kesho yake ati ndio watatusaidia, lakini sasa wanaenda wakiwa wachanga sana. Kwa hivyo tuko na uchungu na tungetaka serikali ingilie ili waache kuua watoto wetu.
Amezikwa na sasa ni mtoto mdogo. Sasa kutaenda aje juu ya hii serikali? Bado huyu mtoto alikuwa mdogo, hakuwa na familia. Tuko na uchungu sana, lakini tunauliza serikali ingilie kati juu ya huyu mtoto. Hii nini yake, yani haki yake ipatikane.
Nasikia uchungu kwa kuwa sisi wana Gen Z, sisi tunamalizo. Sisi tunatokea barabarani kuitisha haki zetu. Hatuna ubaya na mtu yoyote.
Now, a section of civil society organizations from the Coast region is backing the ongoing call for a national dialogue, emphasizing the need for inclusivity, grassroots participation and political goodwill to resolve the country's deep-rooted social and political changes. Now, speaking in Mombasa County, the lobby group led by Director of the Kenya Civil Society Center, that is Suba Churchill, noted that the issues raised by the youth are not new, hence the need for a structured and legally binding process that delivers real change.
Notice yoyote iliyotoka isipokuwa ni vitisho vinavyofanya paka wengine wameanza kubomoa nyumba zao, kwa sababu wanatishiwa kuwa soko itachomwa, wanatishiwa kuwa saa yoyote tinga itakuja, ambapo watuoni kama viongozi wetu wametufanyia haki.
Sisi hatuna shida na mradi wa soko ambayo inakusudiwa kujengwa katika mji wa Voi, lakini tunaujiuliza one thing hatujaonyeshwa tunaweza enda wapi. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo.
Nasikitika ya kwamba mradi unaletwa ambao umekuja kuvuruga mwananchi, mwanajua kali ambaye anafanya biashara ndogo ndogo pasipo kujaliwa ala kufikiriwa kwamba ataenda wapi.
I look at sports now, where Nigeria and Morocco have booked their sports in the final of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations after defeating South Africa and Ghana respectively in yesterday's semi-finals. In Casablanca, Nigeria edged past defending champions, that is South Africa, 2-1 in a thrilling encounter. The Super Falcons took the lead in the first half via a penalty, but Banyana responded with a second-half equalizer from Linda Mothalo. With the match seemingly headed for extra time, Deborah Abedun netted a dramatic win deep into the stoppage time to send Nigeria into the final. Meanwhile, host Morocco secured their place in the final after overcoming Ghana 4-2 on penalties following a 1-1 draw in regulation time. Ghana took the lead through Stella Nameke, but Morocco responded early in the second half with an equalizer from Sakina Ozroe. Nigeria will face Morocco in the final on Saturday in Rabat. Catch the action live on KBC Channel 1.
She goes the same way. Moments later, she curled over the bar. And then, for an injury time, a lengthy chunk of injury time after her.
Back in again, he has a great chance. Oh, it's a goal! No, yes it is! Ghana have scored. Automatically as hosts. And yes, Riley. It's her first real chance. They've got the equalizer. Yes, Al-Hajj. Eight Al-Hajj. Evelyn Badu. She's made. Yaboa needs to score. Yaboa saved. Morocco in the final.
And looking at the Euro 2025, reigning European champions, that is England, beat Italy 2-1 in extra time to qualify for the finals of the Women's Euro 2025 at the Stade de Neuve in Switzerland. Italy started off strong with a goal from Barbara Bonansea in the 33rd minute, taking the lead in the first half of the game. England's teenage striker Michelle Aguamang later came off the bench to score in the 96th minute, equalizing the score. With a minute left in the extra period, fellow substitute Chloe Kelly scored another goal for England after her penalty was saved, sending England into the final. England will await their opponents for the final on Sunday, with Germany and Spain facing off in the other semi-final tonight. On the other hand, Italy exits the competition, which was their most successful since they reached the semi-finals in 1997. That brings us to the end of the bulletin this afternoon. As always, thank you so much for your time and your company. My name is Maria Yambo, and of course, helping me on the sign language was Lucy Mwaura. And I leave you now with our weekly military tales by my colleague, Ben Troy. Enjoy.
We drive about 20 kilometers from Eldoret City to Kipsamo village in Kapseret constituency. Here we are welcomed by one former Kenya Army officer, Warrant Officer 2 retired Richard Kipkoril Tinga, who served for over 3 decades.
Kwa majina mimi naitwa Richard Kipkoril Cheruiyot Tinga. Nilisaliwa Nandi district, pande wa Aldai huko Kapsabet huko.
As a young boy, Tinga joined Kapso Primary School and Samoei Secondary School before joining the army in 1978.
Niliajiriwa jeshi tarehe 1 mwezi wa 3 1978, ambaye niliandikiwa Kapsabet Nandi district na nika train Langata Barracks which is 7 care. Nikamaliza training, nikapostiwa nikaenda Nanyuki Barracks ambaye ni 10 engineers, ambaye sasa tunaweza sema tulikurutiwa ama tuliandikwa na hayati Mzee Jomo Kenyatta.
In his first assignment, he was a driver in the 10th Engineers Battalion in Nanyuki, where he also got his first promotion.
Mimi nilienda pale nikaanza kwanza kama driver. ordinary driver. In fact, nilikuwa naendesha CEO yangu ambaye ni retired Major General Warutere. 86 nilikuja Thika na hiyo rank hiyo ya kopro. 89 nikapewa rank of sergeant na kupelekwa mpaka Isiolo School of Combat Engineers. Nikakaa huko mwaka moja nikiwa nasimamia magari. After kukaa mwaka moja nikawa reposted back, nikarutiswa back to 10 engineers Nanyuki. My mother unit ambaye nilianzia maisha yangu. Nikarutiswa hapo kutoka 89 nikaja tu nikasimamia magari. Nimewacha sasa kuendesha, sasa nikawa in charge ya transport. Mimi nikafaa rank of senior sergeant, nikiwa hiyo Nanyuki hiyo, nikafaa rank of warrant officer 2. Ambaye hiyo rank nilikaa naye nikiwa MTO for 15 years.
Having been employed in the 70s and served under 4 presidents, he points out the changes especially on the welfare of soldiers over the years.
Moi wakati aliingia, pesa ikaongezwa, ikasonga juu. Wakati Kibaki aliingia, pesa ikaongezwa, ikasonga juu. Wakati Chusi Uhuru ameingia, pesa imeongezwa. Wakati huo mambo ya panga haikukua. Yes, tulikuwa tuna save pesa kwa posta.
34 years in the forces, he points out march and shoot exercises as the most intense that tried every soldier to the core during his illustrious career.
March and shoot, tulitrain Isiolo, but nilienda march and shoot ambaye nilienda wakati nilirudi kambi, hata nilikuwa nimechange. Nilikuwa nimekuwa nyeusi, mambo ya kuwa brown iliisha. Yani nikifika tunatembea usiku na mchana ambaye tukiletewa hata chakula ati hii ni lunch. Mimi natafuta mahali iko kivuli na usingizi. Chakula haingii. Mnapumzika mchana, lakini ikifika saa 12 jioni mwendo wenu ni ya usiku. Paka kesho asubuhi. Hakuna kufunga macho na mnaishi. Mnaweza toka tuseme kutoka Eldoreti. Mwende paka Nakuru ama over Nakuru, beyond Nakuru, bila kufunga macho na mnai bila kupumzika. Uko na misiko yako umepepa, uko na punduki umepepa, uko na risasi yako umepepa, na hivi vitu yote ni mzito. So unaenda mpaka mguu umefaa kiato namna umefaa, lakini mguu chini inachupuka.
In 2005, Tinga was among soldiers in the United Nations Peace Mission in Eritrea and reminds Kenyans on the essence of peace.
Kama inawezekana tuishi na amani namna tunaishi, pale watu wako na shida hawana amani, wako na shida, kila kitu ni shida, kupata chakula ni tabu, pale hakuna mambo ya kusema ati iko sheria, watu wanauana. Kuua mtu sio problem, uko kuua mtu sio shida. Tukiwa wana Kenya tunakaa vizuri, ambaye mimi hata kama nimekuja nyumbani ningewaomba ya kwamba wajue inji ambaye iko na msosano ama mafarakano hakuna maendeleo yoyote.
The former Army Motor Transport Officer MTO advises young serving soldiers to remain true to country and duty.
Mimi ningetaka discipline ya military ipaki namna ilikuwa. Namna tulikuta na namna tuliwacha, ningependa iendelee hivyo ndio tuwe na china mzuri ya jeshi ni discipline.
Man and father of 4 acknowledges his family support for over the 3 decades he served in the army.
As much as but nilipata pipi mzuri ambaye alijua ya kwamba mzee ako kazi na mzee atarudi nyumbani. Kazi nyingi ni yeye amefanya kumsupport. Na kwa familia kwangu Mungu ameni niko na wasichana wawili na vijana wawili. Jana yangu hakuna mtu yote ametaka military. Asante. Thank you very much.
Tinga, who was ailing, passed on a few months after this interview, and even though the mile he drove was a testament of his unwavering commitment, and the impact of his dedication will echo on every road we travel. In peace, Tinga. For Military Tales, I'm Ben Troy Njue.
Je, ndugu Muislamu, unafahamu kwamba Nabii Ibrahim alayhi salam alinusulika kifo kwa moto kwa amri ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
Ibrahim alayhi salam alifungwa miguu na mikono kwa pamoja na kuwekwa kwenye moto mkubwa sana. Allah aliamuru moto ule salama kwa Ibrahim alayhi salam, na hivyo ndivyo ilivyokuwa. Nabii Ibrahim aliweza kutoka jeraha lolote.